Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Good morning, top of the morning. We're here in sunny California. It is looking good, feeling good, but is it good? You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you always live with nothing but straight talk. Yes, that's how we do it. Nothing but straight talk. That's what we do around here. So, my co-hosts are the wonderful, the fabulous, the invisible man, Mr. Keith Swanson, in his own right. Yes, that's who we have, Mr. Keith Swanson, radio personality in his own right, black, intelligent, unapologetically about what he thinks. What's on his mind, he gonna say it. Now, he may run after he say it, but he gonna say it.
I'm not coming near the church after Dr. Rosie gets through. I'm gonna tell you that.
You better not let him know you know me. Okay. All right, y'all. And my other co-host is the wonderful, I call her the Valley Girl. You guys, she's from the Valley, okay? She's a real estate guru. If you want something to do with real estate, you want to sell a house, you want to buy a house, you want to talk about a house, you want to get somebody up out of your house. I don't know if she do that or not, but since she does everything else about the house, maybe she can get some of the people on your couch out of your house.
But she knows the guy. She might not do it, but she knows a couple guys.
Yes, I know someone that can help you. That's for sure.
So anything you think about that has to do with house, okay, you can call her. She's an author, motivator, stimulator, educator. She's all of those wrapped up in one, has wonderful books that will help you to really plot your course. And not just plot it, but go ahead and see it to the end. Because a lot of people start things. They're just great starters. They're not finishers. Shawan will help you to finish your course. That's what's so great about her. I love that. So how are you guys doing this morning?
Doing good.
We're doing great, Dr. Rosie. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Mad, though. I'm mad, you guys. I'm mad today.
Uh-oh.
Hey. Talk to me, Dr. Rosie.
Well, number one, I'm going to tell you why I'm mad, and then I'm going to get onto our subject. I'm just angry about all the hook, wink, and bamboozling with this Juneteenth. You know, it just makes me angry when we should have been able to shut down ourselves and say Juneteenth is our holiday. None of us are going to work. None of us going to play ball. None of us going to do anything that generate money for anybody other than us. We so damn scared of everything. And now that the white man has endorsed it, we excited about Juneteenth. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
I haven't heard a platform. I haven't seen anybody march and holding meetings about celebrating Juneteenth. But I certainly have heard them battling for reparation. So what happened to that? I don't care about no holiday. Show me the money, you know? I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. It just angered me that black people didn't see through what this is all about. At the same time, the Republicans trying to find a way that you can never vote again. And you excited about it during holiday. You know, it just things, you know, it just things. You know, I heard a guy on another show today. He was talking about we need to call ourselves the Moors and we need to call ourselves this. And I tried to get in, but I couldn't say, hell, we need to call ourselves broke. That's what we need to call ourselves. all these names. If you ain't got no money, you're broke. You know, we need to fight for economic justice and all this social stuff. I'm telling you. I mean, it shouldn't be our priority because once we get the money that we need, we can kill some of these other ills that we're having. So I got that out the way. You know, sometimes you just need to get stuff out the way, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're right. We have to talk about it, at least let people think about what you're saying, because if no one's thinking about it, it just goes right along the path that they're trying to make it go down. So I'm glad you shared that with us because it's some thought to think of, really consider and think about. So thank you.
Yeah, but thank you. So today, you guys, but how did you guys feel about Juneteenth? And then I'm going to move forward. What talk to me? What did you guys feel about that?
I didn't think anything about it because I was shocked that that there was even a bill. I didn't even know there was a bill to even pass Juneteenth as a holiday. I had no clue that was even in Congress.
And you're in the know. I'm in the know. I didn't know it was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No.
It's I think it just all of a sudden it just went through and nobody said anything. So
right.
I just like, okay, that's it. I said, is this a real? When I first heard, I said, is this a real thing?
Mm-hmm.
And make it immediately. We pass it on Wednesday and shut down everything Friday. God dog it.
Yes.
I'm gonna make an executive order. Shut down. Don't do nothing.
You can't even.
But my thoughts was really when I heard about it and thought about it. It really just kind of brought a little bit of anger because I feel like we never should have even have to have such a holiday. You know, how do you have to have a holiday because of slavery? There never should have been slavery in the first place. So that's what I thought. I was just a little bit angry that ever even existed in the first place.
Well, it's amazing what we celebrate. Like they celebrated the first year annual of George Floyd being murdered. We celebrate anything. I guess we just need something to celebrate.
I don't think we're celebrating. I think this has been put in front of us. I don't think this is us.
Oh, you're right. Just like the Juneteenth. That wasn't us.
That wasn't us, yeah.
Okay, now that put a whole different spin. That wasn't us. That's what somebody else wanted us to see or to do or to have.
Yeah. That's what they want us to feel. That's what they want us to think about. That's what I say. That ain't us.
That's why it's so important to have alternative talk to radio, and because we're influenced by the media. Jamal for years, that's all he would talk about. That's the good life, showing videos and films, showing us how we are influenced by the media. They tell us what to think. They tell us who to like. They tell us who not to like. They tell us who's going to be our leader. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. That's why it's going to be so important for us to open the airways, and for us not only just open it, but for people to turn toward the airways that African Americans are really holding. But they rather listen to the other talk shows and then come back telling us what they said and arguing about it and mad about what they say. You don't even need to listen to what they say. When you listen to something that downgrades you every day, spotlights you every time a black does something, is black on black crime. When white folk killing not just one person, they taking out 5 and 10 and 12 at one time, and I've never heard anybody say, ooh, the white on white crime. I mean, we allow them to define us in so many ways.
Yeah.
And we buy into it. You know what? If the white man wake up one morning and say, okay, all you Negroes are white, they'll start walking around, I'm white.
I don't tell them it's gotten that bad, Dr. Rosie.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. They'll be thinking they're white. I tell you, Lord have mercy, help us. I don't know what it's going to take. But I do tell you one thing that I know. I think the real answer to a lot of our ills, the solution could come through the black church. So that's what we want to talk about today.
Okay.
5 things that every black church should be doing. And if they're not doing that, you need to walk. Why be a part of something that's not doing anything to help you, your child, your family, or the community? If I had a social club, an organization, and you wasn't getting any benefit from it, how long would you stay in it? But especially if you had to pay. If you had to give if you were giving 10% of your earnings to any organization other than the church, and you couldn't see any benefit, how long do you think it would take you to walk away from that organization? And
no return on investment. No return on investment, huh?
No return on the investment. I think it is so critical because, see, the church used to be the black church used to be the pillar of the community. That's why where our schools were housed in the black churches. My dad used to always talk about that. This little church, how they had one room and the kindergarten, the premise, they called it. The premise was over here, second grade over in this corner, but they all learned how to read and write. The church, okay? The church had started colleges, opened hospitals. The church played a pivotal role in us moving forward. When people came to deal with civil rights and try to help get things changed in the South, the church was the one that opened its door. People rallied. The church was where they toned the bell. Whatever happened, if somebody died, if something going to be taking place that everybody need to know about, it happened at the church. Now, my question, Keith, is this. Who is to blame for the lack of black churches' ill response toward the welfare of the black community? I'm going to repeat that question. You all listen. Who is to blame for the lack of the black church's ill response toward the welfare of the black community? Is it the pastors or is it the members? Is it the pastors or is it the members?
I think it's the members more than anybody else. There is no church without the members.
Okay. What do you think, Shawana? Shawana's scared to say.
I think,
you scared. You scared.
You're scared.
Oh Lord. I really think it's both parties. I think I think that the church is manipulated by when it's time for voting and things like that, because they're looking for certain things in place. So I think the church, I'm going to go for it. The members are responsible, but I think the minister is more responsible. The preacher is more responsible because they know they have the things that's going on in our community because they are being approached with the items. And I think that the things that are being put out there, instead of just pushing it on the members to vote the way that they're asking you to vote, I think that if someone comes to them and approach them, that they need to investigate what they're pushing. They just can't push anything. So I'm going to say yes, they are responsible.
Okay,
yeah.
So you say they
and that's it.
Because the people trust them, right? They put that trust in.
Right, that's why they're coming. That's why they're coming. So I'm going to say the minister, the preacher, the bishop. Yes, I'm going to go bishop. I'm going to go there because they know what's happening. They are in the end of what's happening in the community because they are being approached every day on the direction that they want the community to go. And I think I had a strong voice on that one.
Yeah, you really did. You really did when you called out the bishop. Now you can. You ain't gonna get in church.
I'm getting kicked out. I'm getting kicked out. But it's true, though. It's true. You know it's true, Dr. Rosie.
Well, you know
it's true.
Yeah, it goes back to. I guess.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's, from my standpoint, I blame the scary members. I really do, because there's more members than it is a pastor. And I believe if the members would really use their head and go to the pastor and talk about some of these issues that needs to be done, talk about these are some things that we need to do here at this church, I believe some of them would sit down and listen. I believe some of them are just totally ignorant and don't know what's going on, because they're okay. Many of them are okay, but they don't see the pain. The members going back, getting evicted, their kids in jail, you know? So these are some issues that take place with the people that's in the church, you know? So they need to be talking about it and put pressure. First, they need to identify what should the church be doing. What kind of church do you want? When you think about going to a church, you need to say, do I want to go to a church who has a good choir? See, people pick churches by this kind of stuff. Oh, they got a good choir. Some people say, well, I want to go to a church where they really, where the spirit is high, where people are shouting and dancing and running all over the place. I want to be a part of that. These are people who've been in, used to the nightclub and party and all this kind of stuff. They want some action, Keith. You know what I'm talking about? These are people who used to action. So
they want the after party.
Yes, yeah.
Or the before party.
Right. And some say, well, you know what? I want that that morphine approach. I want to feel that high. I need to feel something running through my veins. People have different reasons to go to church.
They want to be entertained. Huh?
Right. And some say, well, gee, so much is going on in my home. I'm so depressed. I can't holler. I can't cry at my job. I can't cry at home. If I go to church, I can fall out. I can holler. I can do whatever. And it's okay. It's acceptable. You'd be surprised at the different reasons that people go to church. But the bottom line is, questioning is, what is the church doing for you? Now, I know pastors would get really upset, but my church ain't supposed to do nothing for you. They're supposed to make sure you get salvation. Make sure you're saved. Yeah, saved from what? We here to feed your soul.
That's what they say now.
Is that all?
Yeah,
and maybe that's what a lot of people want. Feed their soul.
Yeah, but that's not the traditional history of the church. The church is going all the way back to ancient Egypt. They fed the poor, like you said. They educated the children. Basically, that's the reason. The original reason for tithes.
They helped the people that were in need when it was time.
The original. In other words, the original charities wasn't the state. It was actually the church. That's what you tithe for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I agree with that. And that's why they say it's important, because some people ask, well, why am I supposed to give really 10% to the church? Can the 10% be given outside? But really the church is giving the 10% if you're going in there, because it's to help out the community. Yes, it's to help out the community.
It's a tax to help out the community. Yeah, that's what it's there for.
Right, that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah,
that's what they're supposed to do.
So when you're in need and you need to go to the church, and they also should have programs to help people that are in need, help people that are on drugs, help people that are homeless, help people that are abused, help people that are about to have eviction, and help people that just need to be saved, that needs an ear to say, you know what, God has you.
Teach the little kids, because you have a whole lot of little black boys that can't read. You teach the little kids to read. That's what it's there for. That's what they used to do.
And teach them grown folks. Let me back up.
Exactly.
Teach them grown folks who sit up there who can't read. Okay, you'd be surprised
a lot of
the functional illiterate adults. Okay, and it's never too late to learn. But it's really interesting, because Keith, back in the day, it was no Red Cross. So y'all hear me? It was no Red Cross to help you. It was no Salvation Army. We were the Salvation Army. We were the Red Cross.
Right.
But,
the Salvation Army was originally what? A religious group.
But here's what happened. The powers to be. This is what I want y'all to pay close attention. The powers to be recognize. See, everybody understand the power of the black church except black folks and the black church. They recognize, wait a minute, these black folks coming together, they looked at the power of the black preachers. And they said, you know what? Now, wait a minute here. They watched civil rights movement. They watched things. They said, you know what? These black people come together like this. They believe in their leader. We need to take this power away from them where they don't no longer depend on the church. Let's make them depend on us. We're going to become their earthly savior. Okay? And that would take away the power of the black church. So, okay, let's give them, we give them welfare, we give them whatever they want to give, and we give them money for being nonprofit. And that means they can't say anything we don't want them to say. Let's take away that power. Now, where the black church used to feed the people in the community, used to clothe the people in the community, well, you don't no longer depend on the church for that because they have other organizations. So that would take away your power. Now we're in a position that you can't even go to a black church base, most of them, to get help because they don't have anything. Because it's been so diluted. I said some years ago, if you all don't, as a church, every church should have, this is one of the things that's on my list, every black church. Number one, you need to take down that white Jesus. That's the first thing. I know y'all ain't going to do that. Let the white man come and tell you. You need to take that down. You don't have to have a picture up there at all. If you don't, you know.
In Paris, France, there's a black Jesus. In the white church, in the white chapel at the top of the hill, there's a black Jesus. In a Catholic church on top of the hill.
I saw one on
so they know, they recognize. They recognize. Yes, and if you look at, and if you read the Bible describes him as a black man or in dark color.
Yeah, the Black Madonna and Child,
Yes.
And Dark Christ,
So we have to do some radical things to make some radical change. You can't have little children thinking that everything that can be good or bless them is white Jesus, white Santa Claus. You know, I remember once my uncle was playing Santa Claus, and this little boy came up to him. He said, "You ain't no Santa Claus because you black."
I would agree with that. That I would agree with.
You ain't no Santa Claus because you black.
Because there ain't no black person going to live in the North Pole. I have to agree with that one. That's the only one I would agree with.
You think, yes, you know,
That's the only one I agree with. You got to be an old white man to live in the North Pole.
Well,
we don't like the cold.
He sure told him that. So, I mean, you really want, it's time for young people to see people that look like them. They need to feel that they are part of the world, society, just period, you know, because it's time out. When it comes for election, all the politicians, they know the power of the black church. They run up in there, and I don't know if they leave money or not. Maybe they do. But they sure get time to come up in there and talk about, tell us who to vote for. Pastor don't know anything about any of those people except they come to your events. And you get up and tell the member to vote for this person. And next time that happens, the member should say, well, Pastor, why should we vote for this person versus that one? But, you know, you dare not ask those questions because, you know, you're talking back to the man of God, touch not my anointed one. That's what they're going to hit you with.
Are you really not supposed to ask that question, Dr. Rosie? I don't think so. I think that if someone says something, you should be able to say why, regardless
most people
of their...
are afraid to ask why because they figure if pastor told us to do it, now don't be questioning the pastor because you don't know what God told him.
Let me strike down. Hey, all of a sudden, lightning strikes you down.
Yeah, because people believe that everything come out of the pastor's mouth comes directly from God.
From God.
Anything come out of his mouth. Now, you don't know what God told him.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if this young generation is going to follow that. They kind of
I
analytical
don't
and
think so.
yeah,
They question whether the sky is blue, so I don't know.
absolutely. And it's good to ask questions because it make people think. But let me say this. You guys, if you sitting up in a church that all they doing is praying and singing, shouting, taking up money, begging every Sunday to meet budget, and you trying to give all you have to meet that budget, and you haven't met your budget at home.
Mm.
I'm getting ready to really make some people mad now.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be on this call.
I know.
Some people they believe in one thing, and that's tithing. They don't read nothing else in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bible, where it says a good man will leave an inheritance for his children. I don't ever hear them preaching about that. It also in Ecclesiastes it talks about money is the answer to all. I don't hear them talk about that. Ecclesiastes 11:2 talk about you should have 7 vineyards. Then it said no, maybe even 8, because you don't know what disaster may come up on the land. And don't we have a disaster right now?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if we learned how to plan for it ahead of time, and if we were taught ahead of time.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that? And it's in the Bible also it said, oh no, man. It's against debts. Why are we talking about that? It is so many scriptures that point to economics in the Bible.
Right.
Why aren't we talking about that? So if you're in a church, okay, that you don't know where your money is going, that is not serving mankind or the community, why are you contributing? That becomes my question. Why are you contributing when there's no return? You may say, well, there's no return on investment. Church is no investment. Anything that you put your money and your time into, it should benefit you or it should benefit somebody. It really should. So if you're sitting up in a church and half of your members, the children can't read, many of the adults can't read, you need to ask the question. These churches are locked up from Sunday to next Sunday. Why aren't we having classes that help? But you said the schools are failing, the schools are not teaching them. You have educators sitting in your congregation. Why can't they have a literacy class on Saturday? Why can't you have somewhere there on Saturday or through the week teaching children math, technology? It shouldn't be anybody in your church that don't know how to use a computer. I'm going to put it out there. Shouldn't be a soul when we're in a technical society. And you got folks in your church can't get an email. Just totally technologically illiterate. Is something wrong with me for saying this? It doesn't make sense. You got people in your church who can do this. Why can't you have a class, computer class, literacy class? I think, I would go this far, Keith, is I think for every adult and for the children, they need to be assessed. Have a room private now to see if they can read and write. And if they can't, put together a remedial reading and writing class.
Yeah.
Now, I know somebody said, that ain't the church's responsibility. That's what the school's supposed to do, but the schools are not doing it. So it is the church responsibility. It used to be the church responsibility. We have excused everything as a church responsibility. What is the church responsibility? Someone call and talk to me. 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. That's 310-928-7733. Or if you're scared, you can email us at innerlightradio@yahoo.com. INNER, innerlightradio@yahoo.com. Now, I'm not saying, you guys, that all churches are not doing what they're supposed to do, but I'm talking about a majority of the churches definitely need to do better. Shouldn't be a person in that church that can't read. You know, you tell people, study to show yourself approved. Well, if you can't read, how you going to study? How you going to study, Keith, if you can't read?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people. I mean, I had one of my friends, I didn't even know they couldn't read, and then they told me, they said, I don't know how to read.
It's a lot of people.
You need to do audio.
It's a lot of people. I think we have a caller holding. Caller, go ahead, give us your name, where you're calling from, and what's on your mind.
Hi, Dr. Milligan.
How are you?
This is Joe Helen Shoemate.
Speak up just a little bit.
Dr. Milligan?
Yes.
This is Joe Helen Shoemate. I just made it back in. I don't know if you got the text message that I sent you and Molly Dale, but I was down home. I was in Columbus over the weekend, so I wanted to listen to your show. Every so often I get to listen, so I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Well, it's really good to have you to listen, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any comments?
No, I just dialed in.
Okay,
so
we're talking
I heard you all talking about reading.
Yeah,
but
the reading is a responsibility of church to make sure that the members are literate.
Right. It's really important, because you said study to show yourself approved. You can't study if you can't read. What I'm saying, that every church should have programs that benefit the members and benefit the community. And if the church is not doing anything but having church and taking up money, I'm saying you need to get up and walk out and find a place that can feed other than your soul, because you need some food on your table. You need a roof over your head. There's too many things that's taking place that the church must get involved with. They must get involved with the economic platform. Because let me tell you why this is important when I said the economic platform. Because you're talking about the power of God. You're talking about He owned the cattle on 1,000 hills, and you can't get a piece of bacon. You can't get a slice of ham. You can't get anything. How is that going to impact the world when you're talking about how wonderful God is, and you just come to church and you pray and God will do this for you? You know how well we do, Keith, as Christian, sends a message loud and clear to the world that our God does provide. How can you say He provides? How can you stand over the pulpit and say, all you got to do is ask Him anything you ask? If you have the faith, God can bring it to you. How can we keep saying that, Keith? If we keep saying that, we're not seeing any manifestation. Because I'm saying like this. If God wants you to be wealthy, and you want to be wealthy, you're paying your tithes, then God wants you wealthy, you want to be wealthy, then I have to say to church people, then what is the problem? I'm going to repeat that. And that's it. I know they ain't going to let me come back to church. I'm going to say this. If you want to be wealthy, and God wants you to be wealthy, same as wanting you to be healthy, because it does say above all, I wish that you prosper and be in good health. If God wants it for you, and you want it for yourself, what's the problem? There's a problem here, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the problem? It's about execution.
The problem.
It's about execution. You know, so the church need to have an economic platform, and I have talked about this for years, Keith. And because they have not had an economic platform, while many of the members are lacking when it comes to finance, I said 7 years ago, if you don't get involved with the economic platform, you are going to be out of business just like these other businesses are going to be out. And I did not lie. It is so many churches in bankrupt now, not just with COVID, way before COVID. Since 2008, Keith, it was over 10,000 churches that was in bankruptcy. Why? Because if the members are poor,
yes,
what do they
would
leave
make
for the
sense.
church?
That makes sense. If they don't have it to give, they can't give.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And what that look like? A church going bankrupt.
Mm.
Church having to shut their doors because they can't make it. But you say God can do anything. All you got to do is pray.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to make people think. Don't think by any means that I don't believe in God. I know where I came from, and I know if I didn't have faith, but I don't just have sit down faith. I'm going to repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
That's down. Y'all write that down. I don't have this sit down faith. I have get up faith. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You got to have some get up faith, not this sit down faith. So I believe dearly from all of my heart, but I'm tired of these people that's not doing. So you need to have a platform. They need to be talking about money, not just prophesying. I see you with a house, but how did I get it? Did God drop it from the sky? I see you with a new car. I see you. I hear all this kind of stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get it? You need to have an economic platform. You need to be under ministry that's going to help you come from under this economic deprivation and showing you how to do it through the word of God and with your action. I don't think God just meant for the minister, for the pastor to be wealthy and the members to be poor. I don't believe he meant it like that. I really don't.
No other church runs that way because the wealthier your members are, the wealthier the church will get.
Yes. When you get your members out of debt, every church should have a debt deliverance program.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can never have money paying 18 and 20% and 29% interest on what you buy. You will never be free. All your money is going for interest. So if this is not an agenda, if your church think that this is not what they're supposed to be doing, we just here to feed your soul, you can stay there and stay broke. And when you stay broke, you stay mentally dysfunctional. When you stay broke, you stay evil. Oh, yeah. There's a price they pay for being broke. You can't tell me you think the same way broke as you do when you have a little money. When you get a little money, just a nickel above what you need, that's attitude money.
Mm.
So that's important. Economic platform. First thing, take the white Jesus down. Every church, if they don't have a tutoring program, then you need to ask the question. You need to go to the pastor. Pastor, I'm an educator. I would like to start a computer class here. I would like to have a tutoring class. I would like to make sure that every young child in our congregation has the ability to read and to write. Why did I say write? Because you don't get to go face to face anymore with anybody. If it's a grievance or whatever, what do they tell you? Send me a letter.
Send me an email.
That's
send
right.
Me an email.
And when you send that email and you don't know how to write, what do they do with it? Throw it in the trash can. They said this person, this person ignorant.
That you don't have the capability to follow through.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
They
don't take you seriously.
They judge how we speak and how we write. They think they're judging our intellect by that. So I just think we need to equip Christian people to stand out in the world, to put them in a position for the world to see that, things can be manifested. God is real, that God can help you. Faith can help you. Versus, well, the poor you're going to have with you always. I said, well, yeah, but it won't be poor Rosie. Now, y'all can be the poor if you want to. I didn't see no place in the Bible where it said poor Rosie you're going to have always. I didn't see that. People misinterpret that scripture in the first place. They take it and go north when they should go south.
I always read that you're supposed to live life abundantly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That there is no lack. There is no lack. And the only lack is what we put in our minds.
Okay. So you're supposed to have life and have it more abundantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, why are Christians so poor? And why are they so sick? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
They're not practicing. They're
Some
not
of them songs
practicing
they
their
have
faith.
coming out of their mouth now.
Huh?
Yeah. They're not practicing their
You know,
faith
some of those
7
songs,
days a
Dr.
week.
Rosie, I don't agree with.
What song
Some
you
of the
don't
songs
do?
that we sing,
Mm-hmm.
some of those songs we sing about we're not supposed to have riches.
You rather
We
have
sing that.
Jesus. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Why can't you have both?
Yeah. Yeah. What did he say that? Did he say, listen, people, are you going to have me or are you going to have the riches? No, he didn't say that. He says, listen, I'm going to provide for you. You are going to be made in my likeness. And in the very beginning, he proved to us what his likeness is when he said, you know what? I'm going to separate the stars and the moon. I'm going to separate the water. I'm going to create the trees and the birds and the bees and the fish of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to provide you with the land. And he envisioned this. This is something he envisioned and he manifested. And he said he is going to make us in his likeness.
Well,
So if we are made in God's likeness, no.
He wasn't poor and downtrodden. You know? So, bottom line, folks, what I'm saying is the church is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys just don't know how powerful the church is. But it's up to us to make it be what it's supposed to be. Come on, the preachers don't have all the sense. God gave you some.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would go and sit down with an ideal and present some of the things that we need to heal the community, I do believe that your pastor would be amenable to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're there for. You just can't sit back and prop your leg and pay your tithe and go on back and think you have done it. I know a lot of people pay tithes and they still broke.
Yeah.
Anybody know people who pay tithes? You know, because people think if I pay tithes, that's all I need to do. It's going to be running over and more than I can get. I know a lot of folk pay tithes because they trying to buy their way to heaven. They figure if I pay tithes, I'm paying Jesus. Jesus going to give me a front seat. You ain't getting
front
nothing.
seat, huh?
Yeah, I'm the front seat. I pay my tithe. Yeah, but did you pay your tithe? Good.
God tell you. Do you remember when you did this and you did that? And you're like, but God, I paid tithe. But no, remember this? Remember?
Yeah, you paid tithe, but God gonna say, but you didn't pay child support. you didn't pay your mama her money back that you owed her. You didn't pay your bills. You got them folks stuff, and you didn't pay your bills. You guys, we're just trying to do some common sense here today. Some common sense, you guys. So I want you to go back and take a look at wherever you're going to church. I don't care how long. Well, I'm still here because grandmama went here. What was good for grandmama may not be good for you today in your situation. Because when grandmama was here, it wasn't no homeless people under tents. I'm just going to put it out there. Times have changed. So if you don't make a change, people would think you don't know God at all. There wasn't no homeless people like that when grandmama was here. Grandmama needs were not what your needs are.
I do believe that we as individuals are responsible for the people that are homeless as well. It's not just the government, because a lot of people have brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, and we need to be there for our family, especially when they're in time of need. And everybody out there has some kind of, I mean, not everyone, I'm saying all the people that are out there have family members or friends that need to take care of them and take them in and help them or provide something for them. We are responsible for all of those people that are out there. Now, I do agree with that. I think we have some responsibility for that.
Now, y'all, that's Valley Girl talking, okay? Y'all listen up now. That's Valley Girl talking, okay? Shawana, Listen to the elders. There are, when we say we're responsible, it's really not even their fault, Shawana, because they planted the drugs in our community.
Mm-hmm.
They created the ill conditions that make people in our community want to escape this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
Want to stay high so they don't have to face the facts of real reality. That was created. And because of that, the ills are so great that you would be in a mental institution yourself trying to help even some of your relatives and children. Their conditions are so bad. So I want us to always focus on that, because there are some people that can't stay in your house. They can't stay in your house.
Mm-hmm.
If you have enough money to put them up in a room.
I laugh because that happened. I thought about it. Somebody asked me,
everybody
and
can
I
stay in your house, okay? I'm telling
No.
you would have to. You feel like just say, y'all can have it. I'm leaving, okay? It's pitiful. It's pitiful.
Yeah.
Because I used to say when they talked about all the liquor stores that was in our community, I said, well, if you remove the ills that cause people to want to drink or want to escape, then the liquor stores wouldn't be there. That's the same thing that, and it's proven fact how they planted drugs in our communities, and all the different things they've done, and how when people come out of prison, they don't have any place to go. They release them with money, just like they did with the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, you Negroes are free.
Yes.
Free to do what?
And
you got the money.
Free. I see the people. I'm telling you, it's definitely something in the drugs, because it's too many people that think it's okay. It's too many people that are talking to themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too many. And then, and God forbid, if you're out there by yourself, you never know what can be happening to the people, what they're using them for, guinea pigs. Because once they're out there by themselves for so long, they feel no one's going to even look for them or even notice that they're gone. You know, so we don't know.
Exactly.
We got to be careful, because these people are on drugs, and these are some weird drugs.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. I mean, I have never seen so many people walking around talking to themselves.
So how do the church fit in with that? It fit in with economic programs. It fit in with social programs. Single women should have organization where things are created, where the things that they can do to enjoy themselves. You know? So it just needs to fill all the needs that we have. It needs to be a program for men who are single parents. I mean, there's so many needs that the church needs to meet. Single women, they need the mothers or the elders. You have foster children who need special attention. Kids who come in to school every day from out of their cars, homeless kids. We need to be able to educate and show our people the way. Don't tell them to just pray your way out. Okay, come in. We're going to pray for you. We're going to fix food over here today. We're going to give you some food. What did Jesus say? Man cannot live by bread alone. That's the Bible, okay? They need some knowledge. They need some direction. And it's important. You know, just think about it. I remember once this church, Power of Love, had mentioned a program which I was hoping they would follow through with, because they have a kitchen. And they talked about having a program where they were teaching the young women and the young men, starting out with just breakfast, a good breakfast meal. How to cook grits, how to cook eggs, how to cook whatever. I thought this would have been excellent for a church program. Because we leave everything where the school ought to do it. So-and-so ought to do it. Everybody passing the buck. Everybody should have done it. Somebody could do it, but nobody does it. That would have been an excellent program. You know, with all the issues that we have with young men and with the police, every church should be have something talking to the young men, talking to the young women.
Mm-hmm.
You see a young woman coming to church, she's singer, got this child, and nobody's helping her.
Mm-hmm.
There ought to be a special class to help single mothers, especially these young. What do they know? They don't know anything.
Yeah. You got all the women there in there that have been mothers and wives and stuff like that. That know those are people should take her in and teach her.
What I'm saying, the church need to be doing more. And don't tell me it's not the church's role. I'm still say, if you're in a church, they're not doing anything but playing music loud, shouting and dancing, and test the line. I meant to say fine. Y'all excuse me. I meant to say fine.
Stop.
Then you need to consider, do I need to invest my time here? Do I need to, because our community, oh my God, don't we need help? We need help in every area. Every area. There's nobody. We're talking about, we hear a lot about the police, what the police do. But who's talking to the young people about, I know you're going to say, well, even if they do what you say do, they're going to kill them anyway. But you will slim some of the chances down about them running or how they act when the police stop them. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's going to help all, but if it saves some of their lives, isn't it important enough, Keith, to start talking to black men about how to behave?
Yeah, it is. It is. And very much so.
And women need to make sure they have the fathers in the kids' lives as well.
You open up a big can of worms now.
Yeah, some of these women, I can see how some of the fathers don't want to be in their life. That's why we need some classes for some of these black women. I know y'all gonna be throwing rocks at me, but some of them are off the chain. Okay.
Yeah, they should.
Off the chain. That's why we need classes and seminars. Mm-hmm. You know, because they've just gone too far. You know, when men come in and try to help you with their kid, you trying to make them your man, and all they were trying to do would be a mentor. I wish I could make a man. Maybe that could be Maybe I'm going to learn how to make a man, because, I mean, women just too desperate. Bringing all kind of men every 6 months, you got another person you want your kids to call dad. We're going to have to do something on relationship. But that's what the church needs to be talking about. Yeah. You know, when women come in, you see them over and over, just them and their children. You might need to ask the question like Jesus asked the woman at the well. So, woman, where's your husband? Mm-hmm. Why should you ask that? Because she just might have one. Okay? And that you might need to find out, why is it that it's you and the kids that come to church? Mm-hmm. You know, is he in the children's life? Mm-hmm. If he's not, then it's time to do what? Bring a mentor for those boys that she bring in the church every Sunday. Folks, it's time to get in folks' business around here.
And why didn't it work in the first place? What stopped the family from coming together? What is stopping that man from being in those children's lives? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it could be him, and sometimes it could be her.
That's right. Mm-hmm. See, it used to be like people would go to the church when they had problems, but I don't even know if people have what type of counseling they have now. But you guys, folks, is sick. Like Shawana just said, I'm meeting people all the time, walking the street, talking to themselves. You guys, it's a lot of jacked up people in our society, and I'm not saying it's the fault of their own. When these people get on drugs and alcohol, it controls their life and they need help. And we need to recognize that and fight for programs to be put in the church, to be put in the community. Because out of all this stuff, you guys, is going on, when you really size it up, the one thing that I haven't heard from the White House to the back door, nobody have addressed their mental illness crisis. Mm-hmm. We don't just face a gun crisis. We're facing mental illness crisis with people who have mental illness have no place to go to get help. You call for help and they'll tell you Well, did he hurt anybody yet? Did he threaten you? Well, call us.
Yeah, that's what they ask.
Call us when he shoots you.
Call us when he does.
I'm telling you guys. So, I mean, the church needs to be more involved with the members, more involved with the community, and more involved with policy making. Policy making. Very important. So, we have a lot of listeners, but I guess they scared to talk. Think their pastor gonna hit them.
Yeah, they probably is. Pastor probably is listening in today. I don't see who's with Dr. Rosie today.
What they say? If you're with me, say I. Say amen. Somebody say amen.
Well, you better watch out. The cock might have to crow 3 times.
I know. But folks, we got to do better. We got to do better. Because why would a person, you're trying to get people to go to church with you, and they looking at you? They looking at you. What time is the replay? We waiting to see what time the replay of the show is going to be for those who missed it and those who know that there are other people who should have heard this program because they were working or whatever. Then we want you to tell them. Let's see what we have on the board here. Keith, what we got on the board?
He hasn't put it up yet. I think he's probably getting ready to.
Oh, it's a comment on the
mental illness tends to pass as normal behavior in the black community. That's from David Blackwell. Hey. David Blackwell said it. But you know what the thing is? The funny thing is, Dr. Rosie, if you go to any college campus, guess what the biggest departments are for graduating students?
What?
Business and psychology. If you got people that have gone to college, and at least 25% of the black people have gone to college and graduated, right? There should be people you'd have a ton of members that have have learned business in school, at least the basics, and psychology. So they should be able to at least start to help you.
Right.
At least be counselors.
Right.
And you know what? It would be a good thing if the churches could get a budget, their nonprofit, for them to place a counselor. The building is already there. The building is sitting there 5 days a week with nothing taking place.
And you always got Zoom,
Yeah, and they got Zoom. That would be absolutely incredible for the churches to add that. Because, you got church people in the church crazy too now. Don't think they all sing. It's some crazy folks. I've seen some crazy folks. I can show you crazy in the church, okay? So don't think they got good sense because they saying, hallelujah. Oh, thank you, Jesus. They about as crazy as a road lizard. A lot of them need mental health. And their pain is relieved for a second. Like taking drugs, like they morphine high. When they come to church, it's like getting their dose. Folks, people are hurting. People can be dressed up. They're looking good. Don't think people are doing well because they sung good last Sunday, because they preached good last Sunday, because they're dressed up, looking good, rings on their finger, jewelry, hat. Don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you. It's so much mental illness at our church. I think the church that'll be a good thing. I hope somebody heard me and take it back to the church. They got plenty of spaces. They have rooms there. We all know that there's a mental crisis in this society. So the church could really petition to get some of that funding to bring a psychologist, a psychiatrist there at least 2 days a week for that church to be able to help people in the community. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's
great.
And I think anybody listening to this program understands that everything that you stated and that we spoke about is really true, and it's really just for the betterment of our community. Period.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Nothing's wrong. They won't kick you out, Dr. Rosie.
Oh, I
hope.
Won't
kick you out. Now they may kick me out when I win what I did. No.
You went all Valley Girl on them.
And see, people think you're against God because you mentioned something about what needs to be going at the church. I'm not against God. I know there's God. I believe in him and I give him the credit for where I am today. I'm not stupid at all. But if we can't be afraid to chastise or to bring out some of the ills of the church to try to make it better. And a lot of people don't want you to don't be talking about the preachers. The Bible said, touch my anointed one. I'm anointed too, so leave me alone. Okay? Now, this show is going to rebroadcast, you guys, at 6 o'clock p.m. Looks like we got a caller coming through.
At the last minute.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
And turn down the program in the background for us.
Caller.
Okay.
Hello.
It's the caller is Catherine G.
Okay, Catherine G. What you got to say today?
Well, I had a number of things, but the first thing I want to make sure that people understand, you can blame the church for a whole lot of things, but people need to blame themselves because it starts from parenting. And if your parents don't train your children, or if they haven't had any training, or they don't allow their children to associate with people that have the training, then they're going to fall into the category of being nobody trying to be somebody or wanting attention. So the main thing is letting the children understand what does it mean to go to church? Who is God?
And what if the parents don't know?
And if the parents don't know, then it's why don't they know? Because of the fact that their parents didn't know or didn't place them in an environment to know.
But they're here now, and the church has them now. What are they supposed to do? And what is the church supposed to do? What is their duty?
Catherine, one reason it's so important for the church to get involved, do you realize that some of the schools have told me that 60% of their students come from foster homes? Think about that. See, we don't factor that in when we start looking at how sad that our community is. We got to factor that in. And our children are the last one to get adopted when they're in the foster system. So we're thinking, well, their parents should have told them that, but not only do they don't just have one parent, they don't have any parents. They're in foster systems. So that's why the church can help to pick up that slack, Catherine. That's why we're talking about this. What can the church do? And then the church members, when you see a young person coming looking a certain way, clothes and don't have things, you shouldn't be talking about them. Then somebody needs to get up and go to their church closet. Yeah, need a church closet, doggone it. All them clothes you're not wearing, the shoes, every church ought to have a church closet. So when people need clothes, they should be able to go to the church. Yeah, that's what I said. They should be able to go to the church. Because every one of us could pull out about 10 outfits, Catherine, and take up there. Am I right?
I understand that. And you have Sunday school teachers that to give the children the attention that they need or to bring their parents' attention. I can use myself as an example because I had a very strict mother. And it was a Sunday school teacher that went to my mother and told her that I was growing up now and I needed to have certain clothing that fit me and so that I would be respected.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but there was a Sunday school teacher.
In other words, what you're saying, we need to be aware. If someone come in your space, whether it's church or wherever, we need to be able to provide some type of system, Catherine. That's what you're saying right there. That's how the Sunday school teacher helped you.
Right. So people need to be able to be approached and be approachable. The mental problems that they have goes way back.
Right.
And people are not, if you have small groups of people to sit and to talk or to explain to them to understand what's causing their problem? Or are they responsible for their problem, and how and where to get the help?
That's why we say every church should have a psychologist or a psychiatrist on their premises through nonprofit money, because people are sick and sicker. And these church doors are closed, and they have multiple rooms that they could create an office. Wouldn't that be nice if people knew that they could go to whatever this church is, Rosie's Baptist Church, and get some psychological help, or to take their son there, to take their daughter, or they could go there, their husband and wife. Wouldn't that be an awesome addition to our community?
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
And now I need to change the subject right quick. I need to know Shawana's telephone number, how to see if I can get her to respond to my telephone call.
Okay, give your telephone number to Shawana, and then we're going to have to say, we're going to have to get up out of here because our time is out. Shawana, give out your telephone number. People who want to buy a home, want to refinance a home, want to sell a home, want to get somebody out of your home, call Shawana.
Shawana, you there?
Shawana, she needs your telephone number.
Okay, give your telephone number to Shawana, and then we're going to have to say, we're going to get up out of here.
Maybe she got dropped.
Yeah.
Let's hope not.
Okay, I'll get it for you, Catherine.
I'm counting on you, Dr. Rosie.
You can count on me, okay? Count on me. Okay.
She hasn't failed us yet.
That's right. All right.
Well,
okay, you guys, the clock on the wall said that's all. We thank you for your call. We had a lot of listeners today. We want to thank you. We want you to know that this is going to replay, you guys, at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for calling. Thank you guys for texting and emailing. And we'll see you next time.